I'll just send out an email and I'll start. Now we should be okay now. Okay. You can hear me, I guess, right? Everything is okay. Nothing has changed.
Yes, we
Hello?
can hear. Yeah, we can hear.
Okay, okay. Slideshow. I'll come back from the beginning. So in this lecture, first we'll quickly review of what we talked about in the lecture 125, the previous lecture. So we've lost a couple of weeks. I'm getting busy on for various reasons and not able to focus properly. In one way, it's a good review to just understand what is, what are the differences. And in this review, I was also thinking about a major question. Are there significant differences between Ramanuja Bhashya and Madhva Bhashya? This is a question I wanted to think about. And I want you all to think about this question, because I'm going to ask this question again at the end of this class. Are there significant differences between Ramanuja Bhashya and Madhva Bhashya? In a way, even the philosophy of Madhvacharya and the philosophy of Ramanujacharya, are there any major differences? This is what I was trying to think about when I was reviewing the lectures as well as reviewing other things. And I want to come back to this question at the end of the class. But today we'll just do a review and start asking this fundamental question. Why are we studying Madhva Bhashya so clearly and going nitpicking and things like that? Why are we nitpicking if there are no major differences? If there are major differences, what are these major differences that stick out? These are the questions we should be worried about. Let me go. I'm not going to say much for the next, just a second. I'm going to skip the next slide and come straight to the. What we did in the last class was take up the 13th chapter. Oh, let me admit somebody here. I hope everybody is admitted. Nobody's waiting. Let me just check. Participants. I think everybody is, whoever want to be, because of my time change, this got messed up. So don't worry about it. So you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, let me see. Yeah, we have a few people on the. Hope nobody is waiting actually. Yeah. So in this, the 13th chapter, Idam Shariram Konteya Kshetra Mitya Vidhyate Etadyo Vethitam Prahu Kshetrajna iti Tadvidaha. In this particular verse, Do you remember what is specific about Madhva Bhashya here? Anybody?
Kshetrajna is Bhagavan.
Kshetrajna is Bhagavan is one aspect of the Madhva Bhashya. That is very good. What else is then what does Kshetra include?
The entire creation, Prakriti.
And what else? So entire creation, Prakriti includes what? Only matter?
No, I mean, Prakriti and Jiva, of course.
Prakriti and Jiva. For Madhva Bhashya, Sharira and Kshetra basically refer to Jivatmas and Prakriti put together. And Kshetrajna is Paramatma only for Madhva Bhashya. That is a big difference, right? That is some kind of a difference. Right? That's one thing. Quickly, we'll start looking at other, here Kshetrajnyan chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Madhva Bhashya says, here this chapi and other thing we can rearrange in Sanskrit. All this is Kshetrajna is me. That is Krishna, Hari only. And Kshetra includes everything else. So it includes all jnana. So that is a simple way Madhvacharya explains here. Okay. Forget about we already know what Shankara Bhashya is here. Shankara Bhashya is distinctly different. Jnaya is Nirguna Brahman for Shankara Bhashya. And then Kshetrajna is Jiva, but Ishwara is same as Kshetrajna. And Atman or Nirguna Brahman is same as Ishwara and same as Kshetrajna. All are one and the same thing eventually for Shankaracharya based on the knowledge. That is, if the knowledge is low, is ajnani, you will find all the differences. If you are a jnani, everything becomes one. Okay? And another thing is, for Shankaracharya, Atman cannot be Kshetrajna. Why? Atman is Nirguna Brahman. Ishwara can be Kshetrajna, not Atman. Okay? Atman is totally Nirguna, unconnected to any creation or whatsoever. One question: does Atman know Ishvara? Does Atman know Saguna Brahman according to Shankaracharya Siddhanta or the Advaita Siddhanta? Can anybody tell me?
No, there is no Triputi, right? In Shankara, in Advaita philosophy.
That means, yeah, exactly. Knower, known, and knowledge is not there, right?
Yes.
If the three are not there, does Atma of Shankaracharya know Ishvara at all?
No.
No. Then he himself is Ishvara in a way.
Yes.
But that Ishvaratva is not realized by Atman. The Ishvaratva can be realized only from a secondary, some other person. So the Ishvaratva is cognized in this relative world. Jiva, Ishvara, Jada, all these are in the relative world. There, the real, relatively real bhakti, jnana, karma, everything gets involved, right? Everything is happening. But they are at a lower level of reality. That's all, right?
Yes.
Agree till now? Okay.
One question is there, Krishna.
Ah.
Then there is a problem. then what is this Tattva Vidaha? And Bhagavan also knows the reality, right? He also knows he is also a Brahmagnani. Then what does that mean then?
Tattva Vidaha just take the Saguna Brahman and the rest of the Jnanis, that's all.
No, if the Atman is the actual Tattva, according to Advaita, Tattva Vidaha means they know it. That means that's the meaning.
Here the word Tattva Vidaha means people who know this truth, that's all. Don't take the Tattva to be anything higher than that. See, language, right? Language can be adjusted. So, etadyo vetitam prahuhu kshetrajna iti tadvidaha. Tattva Vida, it is not there. Tadvidaha, right? Think about
No. In the fourth chapter or somewhere this thing.
that is Tattvadarshi. That is Tattvadarshi, right?
Tattvadarshi.
Yeah.
And also Bhagavan in many places has told that according to at least Advaitic interpretation, that he knows the truth. Probably in the 9th chapter, where he says that he is not attached to his creation.
See, yes. See, as far as Ishwara is concerned, he knows everything, right? He is Sarvajna, Sarvashakta, Sarva Karuna Murti. All those things are perfectly okay, right?
No. Even from the Paramarthic level also, he should be aware, right?
He is aware that he is Jnani and he is one and the same. See, there is a what do you call? It's a good question. Without knowing Nirguna Brahman, how is Ishwara talking? Right? That question comes up. He says that a Saguna Brahman, who is Ishwara, he is all knowledge. He is also Sarvajna. He knows the nature and everything like that. And he also knows. What do you call? A state of Nirguna Brahman. Right? The thing is, otherwise, how then? See, this question of Upadesha Anupapatti, or that is impossibility. Impossible. That is the teacher-student relationship, which is not explicable in Advaita or something like that. That doesn't. It doesn't matter much for them. He said that look, that from Nirguna stage he comes down and then teaches rest. Everybody is in this Saguna world. Everybody in this universe. He descends. So only from our perspective, he is Saguna. Essentially, he is Nirguna. But from our perspective, see, that is the whole idea of the relative reality, right? It's one-sided. From Nirguna is unconnected. Nirguna Brahman is unconnected. However, Saguna Brahman knows everything. Saguna Brahman acts only from our perspective. He is not acting from the other perspective. So it is like a dichotomy. He says at the end of the day, whether you are Advaitin, Dvaitin, or Vishtadvaitin, you have to agree that everything is not logical. How can the one become many in Vishishtadvaita? At one point, you want to stick to 3 views: Ishwara, Jada, Jiva. Ishwara is the Lord, he is the creator, he is separate. And then what do you call? Vishishtadvaita agrees that Jada is different, it is insentient. They agree that Jivatmas are sentient, knowledgeable, but they are stuck in matter. You agree with all these 3 different things. How can you say they're all one? Sadeva Somya Idamagrasiti Ekameva Dvitiyam. In the creation stage, you said one. And
accepted that there is a logical issue in as far as that is concerned in Vishtadvaita, but when it comes to Advaita, when all the teachers of Advaitins are teaching Advaita Gnana, that is the Paramarthika, how can they? The question will automatically arise as how can that be taught, first of all?
So the thing is, what is being taught is not everything is non-Brahman only. See, whether it is Bhagavad-Gita, whether it is this one, whenever it comes to teaching, it is That is why no teaching can actually teach Nirguna Brahman. There is no feature of the Nirguna Brahman which can be taught. It is only realized. So teaching is only for preparation and purification of your mind. That's all. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, they're all purification processes. There is no, suddenly the jnana comes and then you become one. So that is why the whole of the Vedas cannot talk about Brahman. They can only indicate, set a pointer towards Brahman. They indicate, oh, where is Mysore? Oh, this way. And if you have an arrow saying, oh, go that way. That's what the Vedas can do. So it is not a major issue.
So
See,
we have to take it as just as a pointer.
Yeah, the whole of entire Vedas are just a pointer for for Shankaracharya. That means they will try to describe as much as possible, but it is beyond description anyway. Even the Advaitins and Vishishtadvaitins agree that Brahman is beyond description. But for Shankaracharya, Brahman is unknowable. It is never known. So what is known about Brahman is the Saguna aspect of it. That's all. The Saguna aspect of Brahman is known. You know Krishna, yes. Where you look at Bhagavatam, you will know more about Krishna. You look at Vishnu Purana, you will know more about Vishnu. You will know Narsimha, you read Narsimha Purana, you will know more about Narsimha. So any avatar of Perumal, any avatar can be known through some textbooks. And then there are descriptions. When there are descriptions, there's all about Saguna. All this Saguna and experiences with Saguna, relationship, bhakti, interaction, daya, karuna, grace, everything occur in the Saguna world, which is relative and absolutely false in the absolute sense, because Nirguna Brahman is somewhere out there.
Okay, so while teaching Advaita, there is actually no experience then. It's only a pointer then.
Yeah, anything we do here, what do you call, that is why the neti process is there. You do anything in this universe, it will all come to neti. Whenever there's action between the knower, known, and the means of knowing, or the doer, action, and how he does it, thoughts. All these things are relative because there is a Veda. That is, something is a thinker, there are some thoughts, there's some, what do you call, all these things. Meditation is an action. So bhakti, karma yoga, all these things come under karma aspects, karma, action only. They're all unreal in the final this one, because that Jiva, that the Nirguna Brahman is incapable of action. Nirguna Brahman, you cannot point to Nirguna Brahman, this is what it is. It's totally in the different zone. See, this opens up a big issue here. The reason is, somebody is coming, Ravi Narasimha is entering, let me try to admit him. See, what is happening is, what about yoga? The Yoga Upanishads are there, the Mandala Brahma Upanishads, that Upanishads there, Teja Bindu, Nada Bindu, so many Yoga Upanishads are there, and the Yoga Sutras are there. In those kind of textbooks, they say that Brahman is experienced slowly, whether it's Nirguna, Saguna, and the yoga puts Nirguna into something like a blob, something like a Tejo Vastu, luminant Vastu, without any specific form, right? So it takes, and is that Nirguna really? Well, the moment it is amorphous, blob, Tejo Vastu, it's still a Saguna. But in the yoga context, Saguna is separated into Sarupa, with Divya Mangala Vigraha, with so many ornaments, Bhushanas, Astras. That is considered Saguna. But in yoga, that which is all pervading light, sound and light, Pranavakara, they are all considered a little bit Nirguna, less gunas. The gunas are not visible. So what happens is, but how does Advaita deal with it? If you look at Yoga Taravali and those kind of textbook, Shankaracharya seem to agree with that aspect of a realization of Brahman. which is all pervading kind of thing, a feeling of everywhere, the light everywhere kind of a thing. But the Advaitins, though, do not even that experience, they say that is at a lower level. The Advaitins, the true idea of Advaita does not, the Brahman is not experienceable at all. He cannot be known. He is only subject, Sakshi. Even that Sakshi who is seeing this universe, but he is distinct, the Sakshitva, the witnessing will go away because there is nothing to witness. The universe will sublate like camphor, just go away. And it is total kaivalya, total aloneness, total aloofness. Shuddha, mukta, ever free. He was never bound to even go through any process of meditation or sadhana or anything like that. See, this is a very the Advaita theory is highly complicated. And that is why yoga does not lend itself to Advaita very well. And even, oh, did Shankaracharya write Yoga Taravali? All these questions come. He probably didn't write Go. His theory in the Vedanta is very clear. Nirguna Brahman is Nirguna Brahman. But if you secretly look at even his Bhashyas, does he really agree with Nirguna Brahman? This looks like a theoretical separation, does not look very practical if you look at all his works. But the thing is, that is, Advaitis will never agree with you. Hope this is clear.
Yeah, only one thing, compared to, because when we go in this direction, in fact, it goes up to the extent that what Buddha has told finally, there's nothing. There, Shankara says, even the person who decides that there is nothing, somebody has to be there. So, somewhere there is actually at least the self should be known somewhere. Otherwise, it might go to void. I mean, to philosophy of nihilism only.
No. It does not. It does not. See, the thing is, what do you call? That is why Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, he says, right? That is, Brahman is there. That is self-defined, self-complete, Purna. All these things he says. But the rest of the universe and experiences are gone. That's all. Finally, only in the final stage. Not in the below the final stage, everything exists. All he is saying is the Ajnana is at a lower stage. Everything else is Ajnana. That clear?
Okay. Again, this is Ravi. If Brahman doesn't know itself, it stays Sakshi. If others are trying to know the Brahman, then they don't know the Brahman, they don't know themselves. Under that circumstance, how does Shankaracharya says Brahman exists? Because Veda says it exists, that's what he's saying. Because what you're saying is, to Swami's point, it goes either towards nihilism or it is incomprehensible, right?
No. See, the thing is, what it is what do you call? Everybody has this experience. Existence is unquestionable. Whether I like Vedas or not, I know I exist. So this thing is, the existence is the existence of Brahman. I may die, but the existence continues. I look at a pot, the pot may be broken tomorrow, but the existence still continues. So what is it? Sarva Pratyaksha. Everyone will feel the presence of existence. Something exists. So this existence is non-deniable, but it is featureless, characterless. There are no attributes. Existence is attributeless. So he says there is no need for proving Brahman, because if the moment I say, oh, I'm thinking, that's it. That is because of the Brahman within. He says that Brahman is unconnected to creation. That's all. See, these are all theories. You've got to give a little tolerance to theories. It is not, everything is not logical, right? Everybody agreed, all the acharyas will say, tarko apratishta nada api. Tarka is apratishta. That means tarka is not the way. Shruti-matas tarko anusandhi yatam. You should accept tarka as far or as long as it is in line with the Vedas. So Vedas, Brahma exists. Vedas say Brahma exists, he exists. In what way? There are no features. I cannot describe the features. Nobody can describe the features because it does not have any attributes.
Excuse me, but isn't existence itself an attribute?
Yeah. What did you say? I didn't hear you.
Isn't existence itself an attribute?
That is a good question. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. Satyam is existence. Suppose we say that. Is that an attribute? Shankaracharya says that is not an attribute. Brahman is existence. Brahman is Jnana. Brahman is Ananta, infinity. These are not. Okay, very good question, because Shankaracharya says, he says, Satyam as not as a directly existence. He will not say existence becomes an attribute. He will not say it's an attribute. What he says is asad vyavrittam. He says that which is different from non-existing. And jnanam means, how does he explain jnanam? Satyam jnanam anantam brahma. In that jnanam is there. That jnanam is not an attribute. It is other than jadavastu. Ajnanat vyavrittam. Avidya, different from avidya, different from non-jnana. Then again, anantam, limited, it is other than limited. I will not say it is infinity. It is other than limited. That is why negatively you can denote Brahman. There is no description in the entire Vedas about Brahman. So he is attributeless. So Shankaracharya is very, very brilliant in that. He knows how to interpret everywhere. He is thorough. All these acharyas are thorough.
No, but abhavam itself, it's a bhavam, right? Absence of something itself is an attribute, right?
See, absence of something.
If you say absence of,
Assume,
infinity.
okay, I want to look at it from a different place. So suppose there's a black box. We talk about in technology as a black box, right? I see things outside it, but not inside. I see the relationship, but it's not. So in that sense, that's not really attribute. He says that because why is it's not an attribute? Because the rest are non-existent according. Just 1 second. Just give me a second, please. Yeah. See, for Shankaracharya, the rest does not exist, right? There is only one. The rest are superimposed like a snake on the rope, right? So that is why Nirguna becomes very powerful in the sense that you can assume some features from the relative world, but those features finally don't exist. So that is why they have a concept of Saguna Brahman, it's a three-dimensional, n-dimensional Vishwarupa. Saguna Brahman is accepted. Yes, he is Dayamaya, he is all powerful, he is all pervading, he has both form and formless. He agrees with everything. But at the end, he denies everything. It is known as Adhyaropa Apavadavada. Adhyaropa means you superimpose so many features, so many attributes on Brahman, and that becomes Saguna Brahman, and you deny everything at the end. So that is the way they have set it up. See, question is that the intent of the Vaidika Dharma? Is that the intent of the Upanishadic philosophy? That is a question which our acharyas they're challenging Advaita. The summary of it is what my Guruji said, that is Kesvi Swami said, is Nirguna Brahmavada and Mayavada were introduced to be in line with the situation during that time. It was not at the time the Vedas themselves were people didn't believe in the Vedas because of the Hetukavadas, because of Buddhism, Jainism, and other. This one Vedas became secondary. So Shankaracharya had to be in tune with their logical framework. That is the framework of Buddhism. He wanted to be they're all Jnanavadis. So the thing is, what he tried to convince the mass, saying that look, ours is also Jnana and Moksha. Jnana is important, but we are Vaidika in nature. So he introduced the validity of Vaidika in a secondary way. That is in the Adhyasa Bhashya. One day I'm thinking of deeply analyzing Adhyasa Bhashya of Shankaracharya. He uses simple logic and says that this is also superimposition. The very fact that I am the body is an error. Even our Veda Jnana, study of the Vedas, our Bhakti, our our going to temples, our offering to God, Lord, even our surrender, everything is Ajnana Krita. Our surrender itself is Ajnana Krita. Through the Ajnana. All active, because we think that I am the body. So in Shankaracharya, everything goes into the relative world. And that's all ignorance. And that doesn't exist. And Aham Brahmasmi, that is why for him, oh yeah, this is not me. I'm just Brahman. That realization is important. And that is what Adhyasa Bhashya talks about. So his methodology is suitable for the time of that time frame and the set of people and the Panditas who existed at that time. It's suitable. But the thing is, that is what our Acharya says, this Mayavada is not derivable in the Bhagavad-Gita. In the sense of what Shankaracharya says, that Mayavada does not exist. In the sense of what that is Maya as illusion or a superimposition and all those things, that doesn't exist. But the problem is not that easy. The reason is, in the snake rope illusion kind of sentences are all over the Vishnu Purana and Bhagavata particularly. I don't know very clearly in the Vishnu Purana, but in Bhagavata you can see snake rope illusion. In the 10 Upanishads you cannot see snake rope illusion in the 10 Upanishads. That is what we are challenging. The philosophy of Vyasa, philosophy of Badarayana, they are all in the Brahma Sutras and in the main Upanishads, that is the Pradhana Upanishads, Dasha Upanishads, there the snake rope illusion is never mentioned. So that is why we are saying that is not the right truth of the Upanishads. But Bhagavata mentions snake rope illusion all over the place. And none of the Acharyas talked about Bhagavata except Madhva Bhashya, Madhvacharya. So how do you, there is Kaivalya Upanishad or Kaivalya Upanishad is there, some other Upanishads there. All those minor Upanishads mention Mayavada, mention Advaita, mention snake rope illusion, all of them. So Shankaracharya took advantage of those and say I can superimpose it on all the major Upanishads also, and that is the truth. And using some views of Gaudapada Karika, Gaudapada Acharya, Shankaracharya used this idea. So fundamentally, there is no difference in the sense that, surrender, this one, all these things are okay for Shankaracharya because they're at the lower level, that's all. It's just a way of presentation, I think. And at that time, it was suitable because of Buddhism and other people at that time. And In a way, what Shankaracharya gained is the traditional method of restoring the validity of verb of the Shabda Pramana or Vedika Vedas was not possible. The other people tried to prove the validity of Vedas through other methods, like the so many people, they failed. So the Vedikas failed in dealing with Buddhism. Buddhism was growing beyond. As you know, Buddhism ruled India for 1,000 years, not a small 1 year or 2 year. 1,000 years is some 33 generations of people. If it's 30 years is the length of a generation, 3 generations in 100 years, and so if you add up the 33 generations, so Buddhism had a reign over India, and they could have wiped out Vedas. Look at what happened to our Kritakoti, Bodhayana, Vritti, and all. They're all dead. Today we are discussing some other things with my friends. Prior to Ramanujacharya, were there any Upanishad Bhashyas? Some people say Dramida Bhashya was there. So today, can you pick up Dramida Bhashya? Dramida Bhashya is dead. Nobody can find Dramida Bhashya. So a lot of things got wiped out. My Acharya Kesvi Swami said that was the prabhava of Buddhism. Buddhism was so powerful, people started disbelieving the strong views of our rishis. He said that even the view of the Brahma Parinamavada, that is, Brahman himself undergoes some change, that is totally unacceptable to Buddhism. And the moment Brahma Parinamavada was mentioned, Buddhism would laugh at Buddha, the post-Buddhas, Mahayana Buddhas, and all Buddha people, they were laughing at this view. Brahman himself is subject to attrition. He is perishable. Your Brahman is useless. That's what they were saying. Then he used the term Nirguna and Mayavada to attack Buddhism on that. And in fact, that was in a way borrowed from the Mahayana view. So these are all time related. They are not fundamental flaws, but our purpose is what should, for a daily life and for us, what is more usable. So at the end of the day, whether it is Smartha background or anybody, as far as Bhakti, our dhyana or our surrender and everything is concerned, it's common. So these are all philosophical viewpoints, but practically all of them follow similar Vedika Siddhanta only in general. Hope it's clear. It's not, it can never be 100% clear. You have to start realizing and you have to figure out what it is. But philosophy, you have to forget, you have to not forget one thing about learning Bhagavad Gita, right? You're learning Vedanta, what does it really give you? Nothing. It is Shravana Manana. Na ayam atma pravachanena labhyaha. Just by knowing clearly, scientifically, oh, this is exactly Vishishtadvaita, this is exactly Advaita, this is exactly Dvaita. Do you think you will become self-realized? It tells you what do you do to get Brahman. Well, some people say Prakriti, some people say Dhyana, some people say something else. Finally, go get it and figure it out. Now that you have taken a upaya or something, have you realized Brahman? What is stopping you from realizing Brahman 100% now, right now? So we have to figure out that we still have to go to the last mile to realize. So knowing Shastras is not at all enough. There are indications in a way. Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labhyaha. Kathopanishad is clear. You learn everything about Bhagavad Gita, everything about Shastras. You still don't know Brahman because you have not reached Brahman. So the Brahman realization is a realization, not just knowledge of Shastras. Hope this is clear. Was this useful or some kind of a wild soliloquy or some kind of a wild lecture from monologue from me?
No, Swami, it was really good, Swami. It was really good.
Sri Swami, any reaction? Hello?
Yeah. No, that's fine. I mean, essentially, it comes to sadhana eventually.
Ah,
All the three of them say the same thing, sadhana. The type of sadhana could be different, but sadhana is the sense of all the three matas, really.
see, my Guruji K.C. Swami used to say, and he used to repeat what his Guruji used to say. If Ramanujacharya was born during the time of Shankaracharya, he probably had to have the same kind of techniques to deal with time and people at that time, and his philosophy would be similar to Shankara Bhashya. And if Shankaracharya was born during the times of Ramanujacharya, his philosophy would be full of bhakti.
I agree with that. In fact, I mean, that's been before I was exposed to KSV Swami, that's what I was thinking too, really, that, it would be Shankara's, Ramanujacharya's philosophy would have been quite a bit different, if he had been born before Shankara. So,
see, one more thing, KSV Swami said, என்ன இந்த ராமானுஜர் ஒரு 9 கிரந்தம் எழுதியிருக்காரு. And இவர் I think Prashant doesn't know Tamil. See, Ramanujacharya has written 9 works. Shankaracharya has written 40 works or something, more maybe. And Vedanta has written 100 plus works. Okay. Are these people behind the fame? Oh, look, I wrote so many books. I'm a big writer. I'm an author. They didn't want to write even one grantha. They didn't want to write one book. They basically said, oh, people will be left out in Ajnana. Maybe I should write. See, they could have happily realized Brahman after reading and realizing and doing sadhana. They were all capable people. They could have realized Brahman and forgotten. They would have been dead and nobody would have seen or known about them. They could have done it. They were kind to see that there are other people stuck in samsara. How can I find some value? Even Buddha, for example, he wanted to solve the problem of how to find permanent happiness. Everything seems to be sarvam dukkhamayam dukkhamayam. Everything is sorrow. I want to find some permanent happiness. So he used his own methods without assuming God or Jiva or anything like that, without assuming Atma. He gave some value. That is why 700, 800 million people, Buddhists are there today, following Buddhism. Do you think that is useless? It has its own value. So these acharyas wanted to solve the problem based on time. And this is just the beginning. Philosophy is only kindergarten. My K.S.V. Swami used to say, when Brahma Sutram theriyumna, nee ipodan kindergarten pass pannirke, appdi solluvaanga. That means you have passed kindergarten if you know Brahma Sutras. Then you have to develop Atma Gunas. Atma Gunas are described in the 13th chapter, right? Those gunas have to develop, and then only you have to go through the real realization. Anyway, we can stop here and go further for today. Any more questions? Okay, then let me share again. So this is Shankara Bhashya. We already compared it. See, Madhva Bhashya basically says the physical body is Kshetra, it belongs to a living being. Kshetrajna is only Paramatma because Jiva is stuck in this matter. Jiva is not a Kshetrajna according to Madhvacharya. If at all he knows very little, and that is not considered Kshetrajna. So Kshetrajna is Lord Hari himself, nobody else. Then, whatever may be the situation, I'm just summarizing here, okay, because I don't want to go through everything. This we have covered. What each acharya, how they think about this 13th chapter, we covered it. So in Madhvacharya mainly, Kshetra includes Jivatmas and Prakriti. Jiva is not Kshetrajna. Kshetrajna is Paramatma. Okay, that we know. Then the Dhyana in Atmani verse we try to understand through different views. So what do you call, there are higher adhikaris and lower adhikaris in the Advaita. Okay, for the lower adhikaris, they have to go through Karma Yoga. Higher adhikaris can do Jnana Yoga or Samkhya Yoga. Okay, and Ramanuja Bhashya takes a slightly different view. That's all, slightly different view. So for Karma Yoga is necessary. Then on your Karma Yoga also you can get realization of self, and Bhakti Yoga will lead you to the meditation on the Lord, and through His daya or grace, you will get realization. Okay. So for Ramanujacharya, all Bhakti Yoga also can give you a Parishuddha Atma Dhyana. Dhyanena is Bhakti Yoga for Ramanujacharya. Sankhya Yoga is also possible. Karma Yoga is also possible. For Madhva Bhashya, he says, you need something known as pratibha and efforts. Pratibha is something intrinsic in your jivatma. So people of higher level like Narada, like the Devas, like the Vayu and other, they have more pratibha, so they can realize more of Paramatma. So they're fundamentally different and they have more knowledge of Paramatma. It is not avastha Veda means Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga are avastha Veda. Everybody has to go through Shramana, Manana, Dhyana, Karma, everything is required. But blessings are required for you to go further and to go realize. So Karma, Jnana, Bhakti are avasthas. And all these avasthas are possible for all the people. All including from Vayu, all the lower than Lakshmi, I think. Okay, now we come to this review. Till now, I want to ask you a different question. Okay, wait a minute. I wanted to do something slightly different here. Oh, I think I put it here. There's an error here. Just hold on 1 second. Just give me something, sometime. Okay. So I just found here. Madhvacharya, see, the other acharyas make it as a transition due to Adhikari Veda. Karma, Jnana, Bhakti are Adhikari Vedas for other acharya. For Madhvacharya, it is avastha. Avastha is phase. That means everybody goes through Karma and Jnana and Bhakti phases. And it's also about Adhikara is embedded in the gradation itself. The very fundamental stuff we are made of are graded into different categories. Deva, Manusha, among Devas, so many different possibilities, Vayu and other higher Rudra and all. So the thing is, the Adhikara is embedded in the self itself, the Jiva itself. And there is no transition between grades in the Madhva Bhashya. So however hard anybody can try, they can go through Karma, Jnana, Bhakti, even Bhagavad Prasada or something. You can only experience what you are capable of experiencing. That means it's what you're made of. So even Mukti, there is Taratamya. So realization of Paramatma is based on level or grade of the personality. Now, I will quickly, now timing, how are we doing on the time? 7:40. It's almost an hour now. I want to take this shloka later. Okay, there's a small difference in fact, we don't need to. Prakriti evacha karmani kriyamanani samjaya pashyati tathatmanam akartaram sapashyati. Here, Madhvacharya doesn't even say that through Prakriti does these actions. But thing is, the actions are done only by the main person, Karta. And he's an Akarta in some way because he is not bound. Karta is Paramatma here. And Paramatma is the true doer behind everything. And everybody is just a dependent person. So that's what he takes out of the shloka. The other Acharya slightly says Prakriti is involved in action. Jivatma gets connection with this Prakriti and then become an actor or an agent. Otherwise, Jivatma is not an actor in the normal sense. They have other kind of actions beyond bondage. All the different views come here. But what I was trying to say here is, let's switch quickly to the last important point here. Oops, what happened? I have messed up this thing I put. One second. Oh, the review should be here. Okay, I'm just going to summarize everything. What are the differences between Madhva Bhashya and Ramanuja Bhashya? Just a second. I want to. Okay. Just think of this particular thing. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, what are the main differences between Madhva Bhashya and Ramanuja Bhashya? This is what I was thinking today. If you think very hard, yes, in each chapter, the way Brahma is understood, the way word Akshara is understood, the way any particular thing, Jivatma is, Kshetra is understood, Kshetrajna is understood. There are differences in the word meanings. Like in the grammar, the structure, sentence structure, the meaning behind, those kind of differences are there. But what are the philosophical differences at 100,000 foot level? Are there major differences? This is my question to all of you. Are there major differences in Shankara Bhashya and Madhva Bhashya as far as Gita is concerned? Anybody? Anyone? Am I audible? Are you hearing me? Hello?
Yeah.
You can hear. But do you think there are major differences between Madhva Bhashya and Ramanuja Bhashya? That's my question here.
So overall, both Ramanuja and Madhvacharya accept, Tattva Vada. That is there.
Correct.
But in chapters like 13th chapter, Kshetra, and in the second chapter, Madhva gives direct interpretation of those terms as Bhagavan himself. Whereas Raman,
yes, see, the thing is what it is, I'm not talking from the interpretation perspective. That is, in each chapter there are differences. There are two different people looking at it. The words are different and all those things. Philosophically, are they different? Philosophically.
Only thing is Madhvacharya extends the Veda Vada to this Panchabeda. So that is there.
That's true. See, gradation, Jiva Taratamya and Panchabeda are the only main differences. The Bhakti, Karma, Jnana are somewhat very close between Ramanuja and Shankara Bhashya and Madhva Bhashya. There are no major philosophical differences like Maya Vada, Nirguna Brahma, Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya. This kind of solid ground shaking, differences are not there. That is why we are in the last few lectures, we wanted to highlight the differences, and we went in depth and started analyzing Madhva Bhashya and different, how different it is and all those things. But what does Vedanta Deshika say about Madhva Bhashya or Madhvacharya's philosophy? Does anybody remember? Anyone? What did Vedanta Deshika say about Madhvacharya's philosophy? Nobody remembers? You have read Rahasya Tesara. How many people have read Rahasya Tesara? Are you hearing me? Am I audible, please? Because I can't deal with silence.
Yes, I know. But
What did Vedanta Deshika say about Madhvacharya's philosophy?
don't
In
remember.
Rahasya Tesara. Huh? I didn't hear you. Did you say something?
I don't remember. That's all I said.
Okay. Matsanni Krishtam Matamashraya Madhvam. He says, Matsanni Krishtam. This is very close to my heart. Matamashraya Madhvam. Even if you follow Madhvacharya's philosophy, it is fine. It's very close to my philosophy. That's what he says. So Madhva Bhashya, Madhva philosophy and Ramanuja philosophy are very close in the Bhakti Marga, this one, that one, except there are small differences. But one can say, oh my God, I never knew this. I heard Krishna Kashyap's lecture, and he was referring to Vedanta Deshika. So all our Acharya are saying Madhva Mata and Ramanuja Mata are almost pretty much one and the same. If that is the case, I should get, what is wrong in me getting married to a Madhva girl? I was anyway planning to do that for a long time. If somebody says that, what happens? What are the issues when intermarriages occur between Madhva Sampradaya and Shiva Vaishnava Sampradaya? What happens? What are the effects of that? There are daily differences. That is, for Madhva in a daily practice for Madhvacharya, you can keep Shiva in the this one Shiva Vigrahan. They follow Shivaratri. Because as long as Hari is given the highest status, the rest are, you can have the gradation. So the daily puja will differ. Other than that, I don't see any practical difference in a day-to-day life. And even for them, Krishna is very high. Krishna is most important. But they respect all other gods, like Ganesh Chaturthi, this one, Sankatahara Chaturthi, Sankatahara Shashti or something like that, Skanda Shashti, all different Devata, Yama. In fact, in the marriage, they have to offer things to Yama, Varuna, Rudra. The hierarchy is very, very seriously followed. So their daily practices and even the krama in the puja in the temples and all, they're all different. So those are some differences. Practically,
They
big difference.
they also, another major difference with respect to Sri, Lakshmi actually.
Definitely, Sri is a big difference. Sri is lower. And things like that. There is a small difference in Tengla about it also. It's not.
Yeah.
I have to figure out exactly what is the concept of Tengale view of Shri and Madhvacharya's view of Shri. That's a complex research topic. I haven't really figured that out completely. Shri, the topic itself is so controversial between Tengla and even among there are few people who
only in Vibhutvam that's difference. Other than that, anyway, I don't want to get into that now.
I know there's no point, but the thing is there are different. So anyway, let us get back to this thing quickly because we need to summarize. See, I had heated arguments with B.N.K. Sharma, by the way. Dr. B.N.K. Sharma is a powerful author in Madhvacharya. That was like 30 years back. Really, really heated arguments. 3 hours we were on the phone at that time. And we kept on arguing about Madhva Bhashya and Ramanuja Bhashya, nitpicking how Madhvacharya interprets the word Akshara as Lakshmi in the 15th chapter. Madhva Bhashya explains the word Akshara as Lakshmi. And always Madhva Bhashya focuses on the Abhimani Devatas behind every element, like Rudra, Tamo Abhimani Devata, Indriya Abhimani Devata, Manas Abhimani Devata, and all those things. So there are nitpicking differences though, but philosophically they are not. Madhva Bhashya and Ramanuja Bhashya are Matsanni Krishnam Matamashraya Madhvam is what Vedanta is. Philosophically, we are not different. On a daily basis, we will have number of differences of practices. And another thing is, so what we are trying to do right now in our analysis of Madhva Bhashya is we are splitting hairs. We are trying to understand the word meanings and Sanskrit meanings, how these acharyas differ in their views. Yes. And there will be some differences in the way Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and they're all understood by these acharyas a little bit. Not much, but there will be some differences. And how many people have read this book called Essentials of Gita Bhashya and Tatparya of Sri Madhvacharya K.T. Pandurangi? I had sent it out. Has anybody looked at it?
I have looked at it, but not read completely.
Not read. Okay, let me do one thing. I'll stop share and try to share just quickly what I was studying. Where is that? I am unable to share it. Sorry. One thing, that book I had sent, I want you to read it. The reason is, I read it and figured out that fundamentally there is nothing to write home about, which are major differences between Madhva Bhashya and Ramanuja Bhashya. Here and there is stress and not a fundamental philosophical difference. That's what I came to know. So even for that matter, Ramanuja Bhashya and Shankara Bhashya is not too different either. Other than Maya Vada, Nirguna Brahma Vada, everything is identical. Shankaracharya explains the concept of Prapatti in 1864 or something like that, 1865 maybe. Shankaracharya's explanation of Tameva Sharanam Gacha Sarva Bhavena Bharata. Here he explains Narayana Charnavo. He explains Dvaya Mantra explanation in his book, in his Bhashya. So in that sense, other than Mayavada and Nirguna Brahmavada, even Shankaracharya's explanation of Bhagavad-Gita does not differ. So this being the case, these acharyas are not stark different view holders. Shankaracharya also holds very similar views. It is just that we are trying to analyze and see what suits your personal life. That's all. Okay. With this, we'll stop here. We'll follow. We'll catch up next week. But I want to ask you one quick question: was this class useful, or was it just a repetition of what I told last time?
It was good to revise all the fundamentals.
Okay. How did the other? Be honest. Don't say just because I'm asking you. Be honest. Was this useful, or did you know everything I talked about today, and was it a waste? Others.
Satsang can never be a waste, Krishna.
Huh?
Satsang can never be a waste.
You indirectly said that this, I knew everything here.
No, not like that. It's not that we know everything. Even though we know something, satsangs, we exchange the views. We are in sync with this reality there.
In reality, that's good. That's definitely for everybody. They have to have satsangat bhavanispraha gurumukha shrisham prapadyatmavan. So that's very fundamental. How about the others? Any feedback? Just want to see whether this was useful or not.
I don't know anything. So Swami is giving a lot more than what Adiyan wanted. It is extremely useful to Adiyan.
Okay. Srini Swami, what do you say?
Oh, it's been extremely useful because I'm starting at ground zero, really. So,
No, you're not starting at ground zero. I know that. So, see, one thing though, to be honest with you, I didn't have time to prepare this today for this class. I had only 2 hours to prepare. Then I wanted to look at this book. In fact, you should read this K.T. Pandurang's. It is only 15, 16 pages. It's all about summary of Madhva Bhashya entirely. See, it's very good to read it. He's amazing and he's very precise in writing. In 15 pages, you fundamentally know the drift of Madhva Bhashya. So I recommend you to read Madhva Bhashya. And finally, with a comment from Srinath Hemaji. How was it? Anything new?
Oh, it was very good, Swami. Thank you very much. It was the Shankaracharya's part was a good refresher. Earlier, we had listened to that topic about how Shankaracharya philosophy developed around Buddhism period, and that's how the Nirguna and Mayavada was interpreted for that reason. And I like the part that Vedanta Deshikar talks about Madhva Bhashya. I did not know that. That was very nice. And it was also good to see the philosophy of Dvaita. When you said, how is it different from Vishishta Dvaita? I was wondering what can be the difference. So I like the part that was discussed today.
Very good. Very good. So this is exactly what I wanted to do today. And definitely I didn't have much time to prepare. And next week I try to prepare serious differences in Madhva Bhashya, particularly coming to 15th chapter and all. They are not serious, but they are distinct, separate views on the Bhagavad-Gita. That's all. Okay. Namaste. Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Parma Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Sarva Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Narasimha Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Hayavadana Parabrahmane Namaha, Sarvam Shri Krishna Paramastu.
Just one comment.
Dhanyavad.
I think if I knew everything, then I would have been able to answer your questions. So that was
No. Question answers are just, something is in my mind, I will put some question. And something, I will have my answer already in my mind. So you can't read my mind that easily. So that's not, it just doesn't mean anything. Yeah.
that's why the class was useful for me.
Okay, very good, very good. Next time, let's see if I can do some more work. You will get more value out of it. Let's see. Okay. Namaste.